Hello, my fellow flawless, limitless HBICs. How are you on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? I know you already see that this is not a typical video I have on my channel. I'm sure you can see by the title that I have some special guests today, and I'm so excited. We have a mega success story, my friends, mega success story. Most of the people that watch my channel are manifesting a specific person. A lot of you are manifesting to be married to your specific person. And I have a couple that is now officially married. Yes, it's a big success story. So I would like to welcome Mr. and Dr. Hal Hutchison. This is Dr. Holly Hutchison, and they are going to share the manifestation journey, the unfolding, and Holly's going to drop some tips on what she did to manifest to be married to this handsome devil over here, Mr. Hal. All right, Holly, hello, welcome.
Hi, Kim. Thank you.
I'm sure some people are going to instantly recognize you because of the channel membership. And I am so excited for the both of you.
Thank
I
you.
want to hear all the details outside of the fact that I know a lot of them because I've been talking to Holly for a while. But still,
Yes,
I'm sure everyone wants to hear, you know, the details of where this journey started, how you even found manifestation, and what really brought you into it.
absolutely. Thank you for having us, Kim. We're so excited to be here. And I love you. You know that I love you. I've been with you
I
for a
love you.
while. Well, I probably started this journey, I think it was post-COVID, so it was like right after COVID hit in 2020. I found the law of assumption because there's nothing else to do. So I was online one day and I stumbled across, I think it was subconscious laws, laws. And
Mm-hmm.
she introduced me into what the law of assumption actually is and sort of like how to use it, how to master it. And so we were quote unconscious, or unconsciously manifesting our lives.
Yes.
And then I learned what conscious manifesting actually is. And I'll tell you, it has been a process and a journey for me, no doubt. So Hal and I have been together for a while. There have been some up and down moments, I guess. And then
Like every relationship, like
every
every
relationship.
relationship.
Right.
Yes. In 2020, I found the law, started listening to Laws and then in some of Laws's teachings, that's how I actually found you. She mentioned you and Shannon from Lifestyle Manifesting. And so I started watching all of y'all. And then you and I started coaching while I started this journey. So I owe you so much credit because of all the coaching that you've done with me to help keep me in line, Kim.
Well,
But
thank you. But it's
yes.
you. It's you who did it.
And as I was reflecting today on what I wanted to share, that's the biggest point is that it really is all about you. And I think
Yes.
when I really changed my perception about it and to understand like what you all and some of the other coaches also teach is that it is really just consciousness. We are pure consciousness and awareness. And so when I started this journey, I didn't quite understand that. It's taken me up until now to realize exactly what that meant. But I started with, visualizing, scripting, I was going to create my reality. I just didn't know that I had already been creating it for years, just unconsciously. And so there are so many things I wanted to do and change and this and that. So you and I started coaching and then, how, I would get help. So Hal and I would do great. And then I would get back into like a lesser level of thinking or in an old
Mhm.
identity and go back to like my old ways of where I played the victim quite a bit. And I'm just going to be frank. This is exactly what I
Sure.
played the victim instead of just, taking accountability and just stop reacting to the 3D and just creating what I want. And it took me forever to understand that when it comes to consciously manifesting, you can create and you can uncreate. Like, don't react to
Yep.
anything, accept it, acknowledge it, and then move on from it. And so I would consciously, create, but then I would react to something that I didn't like in the current reality or something that he'd do or say, not understanding that I was doing that the whole time. It was what my thoughts, were being percepted by him. And so
Yes.
I didn't understand. And then I would get back in a bad, train of thought or mindset and lose everything that I had thought I'd worked so hard for. We'd do great and then we'd slide. And instead of taking accountability myself, I would blame him, like we've all done. And
We're all guilty of that,
we're
blaming the
all
other
guilty of
people.
that.
Yeah.
Hey, so you're saying that it was you, not
It
just
was
kidding.
me, and I did not have the highest thoughts all the time
I'm
of
just
you
kidding.
or me. But it really is your thoughts too. So once I learned to change my thoughts and really think highly of not just myself and other people, specifically SP, husband,
Yep.
Hal, whatever we're going to
Yes.
call him, is when I really changed my life. So, like I said, I'd stay in a good mindset and then something would happen in the current reality, in the current 3D, and it would like offset me and I would like, fall down and have to restart. And that's okay. But, so Hal and I would like during those terms we would like have periods of like low contact or quiet time, like you've
Yes.
often stated.
Yes.
And I attracted a couple of third parties, outside circumstances that I thought I could never get rid of. And so I'll talk about tips and tricks of how I actually did shift it. But in that process, like there were a lot of ups and downs, and not to repeat like the old identity because we don't
No.
live there anymore. But you were with me, Kim, too. Many ups and downs where things would be great. I'd let something in the 3D get to me, and then I would go off and rechange my focus and concentration and awareness to what was going wrong instead of creating what I wanted and what could actually go right. And so that's the biggest take home here is that when I stopped focusing on what was happening in the 3D reality, this current reality, even if it was on fire, and I'll tell you, you were with me, it was on fire.
Burning
Yep.
down.
The house was burning down. But I didn't let it deter me when I finally realized that, I do control this reality. I am the operant power. I can,
Yes.
I have full say so in this. And when I stopped reacting to even like, you know, minuscule or extreme what I thought circumstances at that moment and just acknowledged it and was like, this will pass, reality's happening through me, not to me. And, I have to experience what I thought what I don't want to understand what I do want. And so we are all that is, really is like Tom Cairns. Y'all know I love Tom
Yep.
too, as he likes to quote. And so it's okay. You're going to have some things come in that you may not, prefer. And as they come in, you just acknowledge it and accept that it's only one experience out of multiple experiences. And then you just move through it. And that's been the quickest way. It's been a decision. When I made the decision that this is who I am now, and this is, how I expect that things are going to pan out without having to know the how. I just know that it's going to pan out exactly like I want it is actually when things fell into place and Hal and I reconnected and got married really quickly.
It manifested very quickly,
It
impressively
did.
quickly.
Because we were literally together off and on. And then last December, I was, was up here with him and then brought in a third party. And because I focused so much on her, in that reality, I could not get rid of that third
Sure.
party. So I
Sure.
did delayed this a lot longer than it should have been, to be honest. And again, I'll give tips and tricks later. But once I really changed the mindset and focused solely on what I wanted versus what I didn't wanted, I had inspired action. So we broke up last December. We were just really friends, but not even great friends. But we stayed in touch some, you remember. And then, I worked a lot on myself, and I'll explain what I mean by that in a minute. And then, in September, so that was December of 2022, and we talked some, but we were a long distance relationship. I had to come up to go to an appointment in September, and I happened to reach out to Hal, and I was like, "Do you want to meet for lunch?" And he was like, "Sure." I felt really inspired, so we met for lunch in that September of 2023, and then it took off. It's just been amazing. Like
And that was September of
September
2023.
of 2023.
And so
Yeah.
here's the funny thing, Kim. I did not want to go to lunch with her. I did not want to. But I just humored her.
Look at
The
that.
only the
Look
only
at that.
descript the only way to like describe this that I could term was a complete and total U-turn. It was a complete 180 change in direction, change of course, change of path. And I always called it like a quantum leap of what
Yes.
can happen and the change that you can experience in such a short window of time. It was amazing because I was not looking for it. I was almost resistant to it. Um,
I love hearing this. This is so encouraging. You have no idea.
Oh yeah, it was very eye-opening to me because the way I described it is that her love was the only thing that I've encountered that was stronger than my armor-plated will. And I was determined not to go down this path, not to meet with her. I would just humored her, but somehow she broke that armor plating, that bulletproof will that I had, that my resolve. She just penetrated it in a way that only love could.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry.
I know.
That's
I'm
emotional.
trying
That is
not
so
to.
sweet. That is so amazing. But it also shows that, what I can say for Holly was there was never a doubt that Holly was completely and utterly in love with you. Completely,
Yes.
utterly. That never
Yes.
wavered.
Yes.
And I told Holly from our first encounter that I know you're going to get this. I
You
know
did.
you're going to manifest this. So I think what would be really helpful is to hear, when you mentioned your own ups and downs, there was fear that it wasn't going to manifest, wasn't there?
Absolutely. I feared it. I mean, I had to really consciously decide and stand firm in my
Yes.
decision. I mean, because the 3D was throwing curveballs. Like, we met for lunch, we had the best lunch ever. That was in September. He came down to visit me in October, and we were engaged that month in October, and then we were married in November. And I know for some that don't believe in manifestation, they're like, "That's impulsive," but it wasn't. It's that I knew
No.
that this was what I wanted the entire time. And if you believe in manifestation and infinite realities, then there was already a reality, that I aligned to, that we were already married. And that's exactly what I did. I figured out how to align to that reality by staying focused and persisting in what
Yes.
I wanted versus what I didn't want. Even though there were fears and doubts and stressors along the way, I mean, in the face of fear, I mean, the third party right in my face, and I didn't waver. I mean, you were with me, Kim.
Yes.
Thank God for
Yep.
you and Tom and Shannon and Laws.
Yep.
I appreciate all of you,
Yep.
but you were with me one on one, coaching me and telling me just to stand firm. I could do it, just reminding me that I could do it. And that's the message I really want to get across, is that everybody can do it. You see the phenomenal coaches like you or Shannon and Tom and Laws that have manifested their dream life. And I guess I just never thought that I could do it. I knew that I could, but then knowing and thinking are different. And then when I actually did it, I was like, I have to share it with people because you can do it. It really can be simple. And I just made it entirely too hard. And that's why I hope this message will inspire someone. It doesn't have to be hard. It can be very
And
easy.
it's
Yeah.
interesting because I mentioned that lunch I didn't want to go to, and I had planned
Yeah.
for it to be a very short lunch and lunch only. And I'll tell you, after not talking for months, the one thing I was evident to me almost immediately was the amount of it was the work that Holly had done and the difference in the person I was talking to. So this lunch that I was desperately trying to avoid, get out of, and run from turned out to be like it ended, I think, at 1 a.m., 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just found myself listening to her. And so I've known Holly since I was 14, actually. I don't know how many people know that, but
I
I've
think
known
that's,
Holly since I
I'm
was
glad you brought that up, not to cut you
Yeah,
off, but
me
I'm
too.
glad
yeah,
you brought that up because, Holly, I heard you say, to some this might seem impulsive, the quick marriage.
yeah,
I think everyone watching, you need
yeah,
to understand they didn't just meet,
No.
have a
right.
lunch, and then get married. They've known each
Yes,
other a very long time. This was not impulsive.
yes.
This was pure
Actually, in
manifestation.
fact,
But
so I proposed to Holly when I was 17. I
Yes.
actually
Yeah,
I actually
I
got
told you
engaged
that.
to her when I was 17, okay?
oh, I didn't know that. Oh my God, I
I
love
told
this.
you that. Yes.
And the way that I always describe it is it took us 20 something years to get out of our own way.
Yes.
Yes,
But
it's a love
what was
story.
evident to me in that meeting, in the lunch meeting that we had, was that I saw Holly overcome struggles that I had seen her struggle with since she was 14, since we were kids, we were teenagers,
Yeah.
and this lifelong battle of in certain areas of her life. I saw her actually overcome these hurdles and these obstacles that she had never done before. And it was like that was where I really saw the amount of work and effort and change that had happened, because I actually, it wasn't just a change. These were things that I saw her overcome that she had been struggling with her entire life. And all of a sudden, those hurdles were in her past.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Quantum
You're a
level
new
jumping.
being,
Yes.
new self.
New
You
self.
are.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I'm
Yes.
getting all tongue tied. I just want everyone to really listen to the message here tonight. Listen to this. Listen how he didn't want to come to the lunch. He didn't want to be
No.
there. He wanted it to be hi and goodbye. And it didn't
Yes.
end it up that way, did it? Because Holly was choosing to be her new self and she was standing firm in it. And it
That's right.
melted that armor. And he
It
saw
did.
the new self. I'm so
That's
excited.
right.
I'm so happy for the both of you. Honestly, congratulations.
You've
So
been with us through it all.
yeah, I feel like I've known Hal forever.
I know. You already know him too.
Hey, I don't know about the handsome part you mentioned in the introduction, but the
Yeah,
devil part was absolutely right.
I'm sticking with the handsome devil. It's
That's
for sure.
right.
You guys make an absolutely beautiful couple. And honestly, you guys should have your own TV show. Seriously. Because people would
Thank you.
love this story. It's like a true love story.
That's
Seriously.
our
Oh,
goal. I'm
Oh,
manifesting that.
this is
absolutely.
That's my
love.
next big manifestation.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
anybody else listening, she wasn't manifesting him since she was, a teenager. She was manifesting him over the last year or so. So don't
Yeah.
think it takes a long time. It doesn't.
No.
When she
No,
started
and
really
here's what, okay, and
standing,
so I can speak a little bit to the
yeah,
evolution just from my perspective. Okay,
yeah,
so
please do.
yes. So, I think we had stopped talking in December or so,
December.
right? We didn't talk for about 8 months. I think it was about 8 months, 9 months, something like that.
We talked on text occasionally, but
Yeah,
nothing,
nothing.
nothing
Yeah,
major.
you're right.
I left in December, y'all, of last year. I was already living up here, but I had my own place, so we were long, it was still long distance. I left up here like in despair, hopeless, like I'm never gonna fix this. I can never get him back. And then I'll come back to that and tell you
Yep.
So
everything.
the evolution, I remember I would read things in her journal that were manifesting, and I would think, my gosh, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. You
Yeah.
know, who does this and just thinks this stuff is going to happen? Okay, so this is in December, okay, when she left. Okay, and then in September, we had lunch, and I'm literally sitting across from her and realizing that struggles that she had been challenged with her whole life, she had overcome. So
Yeah.
that was the evolution of going from this journal that said, "Oh my gosh, this woman is crazy. What are you doing? You're writing it."
My manifesting
To
journey.
I'm sitting in front of her, actually not being involved in the process that she went through. I'm
Yeah.
sitting in front of a different person, a person that had actually mastered all of the challenges in life in general that had been constraining her forever. And like that was the evolution of 8 months. It was an eight
Yeah.
month evolution.
Yeah.
And then when we first started talking, I'm like, wow, how did we not get out of our own way and
Yes.
allow this to happen? Like we could have done this 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was a testament of the real like and the challenge that she rose to, or the challenge, the occasion that she rose to.
Yeah.
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 And it was, I don't want people, it doesn't have to take 8 months. That's why I want to tell everyone my tips and tricks and
Sure.
some things to just, stand firm. And it doesn't have to take that long. It really is a decision. And, had I known, looking back, knowing now what I know versus then, I really did get in my own way, even in those last 10 months, even though Hal sees it as an evolution, it's because there was a lot of wavering. And this, you can witness
Mm-hmm.
that too, Kim. I cried about it. I wavered, but I stood firm in that decision. I knew that ultimately my goal was to be married, blissfully, happily married. And we
Yeah.
have been. It's been pretty
Yeah.
perfect. I mean, there's been some things to adjust to, but this is his best version also. Like what I
Yes.
manifested last year, we were not our ideal best versions. Like we don't live there anymore, but
Right.
we've both come back and we've been really blissfully, happily married. And, anybody can attest to that. They talk to us for a couple of minutes and they can see it. So, I'm not joking when I say this, but I really made it difficult. It really goes back to your I amness, meaning that you stand firm in the decision and you decide who you are. And some
Yes.
will call it self-concept, and maybe,
Yep.
that works for a lot of people. But for me, my self-concept was who I am and who I'm going to be from here on
Yes.
out. And that's what I stood for. And that I am chosen. I am, loved. I am blissfully, happily married. I'm happily married to
Yes.
Hal. Those were some of my definite affirmations that I used. And, it's not that I even had to obsessively do affirmations, is that you have to stand and firm in that decision. So my
Yes.
self-concept for me was the I amness and who I knew that I wanted to be, or who I knew that I am. And I stood firm to that. And then once I did that, it shifted really, really quickly. But I wavered a lot. I cried a lot. in the face of multiple third parties, not one, but multiple, it didn't deter me. It might have knocked me down for a second. And don't think like Kim always talks about and Tom and, Shannon lost. You can feel the feelings. Don't
Yes.
live there. So it's okay. You
Yes.
want to acknowledge it. So when I learned that something isn't not ideal or preferential in my 3D, acknowledge it, but know that I have the power to change it. I created it. I'm going to uncreate it, and we're going to move realities.
Yes.
Persistence, faith, and just maintaining to the decision of what you want and who you are now. I mean, it's not that I fixed an old reality, it's that we moved realities. We really did
Yes.
quantum leap to a
Yes.
brand new reality where we're different versions of ourselves. And had I
Yes.
not wavered, and gone back and forth, and for so long, and this is what I want to harp on with self-concept. So I thought that until I was so broken and until I fixed this, I couldn't have this, so until I was pretty enough or thin enough, just give you some examples. I couldn't
Yeah.
have I couldn't have my dream relationship where I was too broken or not worthy, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't have that until I was worthy. But manifestation's effortless. And Hal believes in manifesting too, but I've shown him that there's an effortless way. And then there's he tries to take action in the 3D way. And I'm like, you don't have to. You don't mess in the middle, like we all like to say. And so it's very effortless when I just stood out of my own way and just, would go in my imagination and decide who I'm going to be and what I choose to experience. It moved very, very quickly. When I realized it doesn't matter how broken I feel, once I decided I'm not broken, I'm perfect just as I am. I don't have to do
Yes.
anything. It came in like
But I think that's
magic.
the key point, though. Is like, what do they say? If it's not broke, don't fix it. But I
Yeah.
think the
Yeah.
reality is it had to be totally broke. I mean, you had to break it intentionally to actually fix it.
Because you
Yeah.
have to experience what you
Yeah.
don't want or what I think to know what you do want. So had I not realized what an imperfect relationship was for me,
Sure.
I wouldn't have known what to really want in a perfect relationship. And like
Yes.
you say, and Tom says, and I think Shannon does too, since we are all that there is, and all four, I mean, because there are the infinite versions happening right now, you can literally experience multiple versions and
Yeah.
identities in a day, but you've just got to stand firm in what you want to, what you see, persist, what you want to see and
To
persist.
still
Yes.
experience all those different versions in a day.
No, he
I'll
doesn't.
believe that. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for both of you. You both radiate. There's like such a nice energy coming off from the two of you. It's a perfect match, a perfect couple. Honestly, that's what you give off. And I know how encouraging this is going to be for all the other SP manifestors out there that if you do stand firm in who you want to be and place your awareness on that, be
Yes.
determined, it will manifest. The odds appeared against Howe.
Yes.
Well,
She
the
didn't
odds were
give up.
absolutely against her. It was against
Yes,
all odds.
yes. And
I
look at
can't make
this.
it up. That
Yeah,
was what I created.
Yeah,
yeah. And look at this. They're blissfully married now, living
We
their
are.
that's
best
right.
life.
We literally made it. It was very spontaneous. Like he proposed in October, a month after lunch, and then he came down, and we weren't even going to get married. We had planned a little beach ceremony in December, and then in November it was his birthday weekend. We decided we were just going to get married, so we got up and went to,
That's
I found
amazing.
a minister, and we just got married in the park, and it was just he and I, exactly like it was more perfect, and that's what I want to, really tell the story.
Let me tell that story.
I'll let you, but it was more perfect than what I could have even imagined because when they say, like Tom says, we are one with God, but God is greater than us. He is
Yes,
not joking when he says that. So we decide what we want, and then you allow source, God, higher power, whatever you choose to believe in, to bring it into you in ways that you do not know. And that's how come you don't need to know the how. I never would have written this script on the
yes,
how, and it was more magical and beautiful than I could have ever imagined. So, like, don't get caught up in the how. You don't have to know the how. All you have to know
yes,
is that you are source. Fulfillment is the only option. And don't let these little, like what you say, Kim, thoughts are messengers to different realities. Keep your thoughts and in your mindset very positive, and you'll get exactly what you want and quickly.
yeah,
It can be instant.
And that's
yes.
your mind is the only thing that has a tactical advantage over you. It knows all of your fears and your insecurities,
Absolutely. You
True,
weaknesses,
can't
and
focus
your
on it.
own
true.
thoughts and mind are really sometimes the biggest deterrent to your happiness.
Yes.
It was. That ruined
Yes.
it did. It can break you or make you, and let it make you, because if you let it make you, like, you're gonna
Yeah.
have your dream life. I mean, I literally am living proof we're living our dream life. And
Yes.
that's what I
I
want
do want
people
to
to
say
know.
that Hale, without knowing, definitely validated my fear of my own SP finding my journals. Just so you know.
I know
Yeah. Oh no, the fear is real.
the family's real. I was like, I can't believe he found my
Oh God. If my guy only knew half the stuff that I wrote, you're in love with me. You're spending the rest of your life with me.
Yes. Oh,
same.
I read it all. I read it all. I read it all.
Oh God. That's totally my fear. He knows. He's well aware. I'm teasing, but for everybody
That's
else
right.
out there,
No,
scripts, you have feared that at least once. Somebody finding
Yes.
those journals.
I
but
feared that multiple times.
but that's the power of manifesting though. If someone can read what you write and think, wow,
Yes.
this person's crazy, and then
Yeah.
8 months later you can do it, I think
Yeah.
that is a testament
Yeah.
to the
It
power
sure
and the
is.
strength that there is in manifesting.
Yeah.
Yes, sure is. Oh gosh, this has been the best conversation I have had with anyone in such a long time. I'm not kidding. This is so encouraging. You guys look perfect together. I'm so happy for both of you.
Mm.
And I'm going to sit back and watch as you two keep going and life just getting better and better and better for both of you.
Thank
Honestly.
you, Kim.
Now she tells me every day she's going to manifest, and she's manifesting millions.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
don't
just like
doubt
I'm
it.
just like wait, I'm waiting for it to be delivered. Just
Millions.
waiting
Oh,
for it to be delivered.
it's gonna be a real thing. I
Yeah.
know. I have gotten to know Holly very well, and when she gets determined, it's gonna happen. Period.
Yes,
Even if
yes.
there's some wavering, you guys are gonna be millionaires, and you better remember me. You better
Oh, you
remember
know
me.
we will.
That's
We'll
oh,
put this
absolutely.
together, Kim.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, if I could just leave really one thing too, is that look at everything in love. Forgive yourself for what you created, because I really
Yes.
would refuse to forgive myself when things would play out. And I was like, why did I do this? Don't do it. Look at yourself in love. You are not the same identity then as you are now. So forgive yourself, love every aspect, even the negative things that you think are less than ideal. Like circumstances do not matter. Look where we are now to where we were last year. If I had dwelled in that circumstance, I wouldn't be married right now to my best friend, my dream spouse.
Yes.
Like, I mean, it's been amazing. So
Yes.
circumstances don't matter. View everything in love, meaning that if it's negative, love it anyway. Forgive yourself, accept it, acknowledge it, move on, decide what you want, and
And
persist.
Yes.
Even if you're
Yes.
in the face of everything burning down around you, you stand firm in your decision, and
Yes.
I mean, I've gotten to the point, some things are instantaneous. I make my mind up, like you say, decide, and it's pretty
Mhm.
instant, or it comes
Yeah.
you
around.
keep mentioning love, and the only thing I keep thinking back to is that your love is the only thing that would overcome it was the
Yeah.
only thing powerful enough to overcome my absolute resistance to
I
whatever.
love hearing that. I do.
Yes,
That
yes,
is so inspiring.
that was what truly that was when I truly understood her power. I truly understood the power when it truly defeated me at every turn.
Yeah. Oh God, this is it's going to inspire so many people. Thank you for being open to doing this. I really do appreciate it.
Absolutely,
No,
it's our pleasure.
Honestly.
we appreciate you. I love you. I mean, I appreciate all you've done to help me
Oh
maintain
yeah,
this
yeah. I
journey.
don't know what you guys did, but you brought me my dream life. So thank you. I should be giving you the thank you.
Just remember me when you're multimillionaire billionaires, okay? Just
Oh,
remember
Oh,
little old
love
kid
you.
absolutely.
here.
This is all,
Just
and
kidding.
remember, this is all part of the unfolding. So something I do doesn't show up, label it like Kim says, or Tom says,
Yes.
or Shannon. This is all part of the unfolding. And I mean, it
Yes.
is like, if you could see the 40-foot view, and you could see 100% of, all the realities going on, you would
Yes.
see how it had to be this way to give you exactly what you wanted. And
Yes.
it is quick. It's instant.
You know what?
Don't
I would
worry,
like to know
Kim.
one more thing
We're going
is,
global.
yeah, you are.
Yes.
And that's why I say don't forget Kim.
Oh
Little
no,
manifesting
no,
with
no.
Kimberly.
Yes.
Kim, no, we're taking
We
you.
love you,
Yeah,
Kim.
no, we're all going
Good.
global.
Yes.
Oh gosh, this is so exciting. Again, this is going up on Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to everyone. And
When's
you
Yes.
know,
Valentine's?
Valentine's.
Oh,
yes,
when's Valentine's?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, no, you didn't hear that. I'm manifesting a perfect
Thank you
Valentine's
for the
Day.
reminder. I
that
appreciate it.
you just said that. I love that.
Just in the nick of time. I got the best reminder just in the nick of time. My Lord.
I was gonna say, just I'm gonna leave on this that I think it's even more amazing that you, Hal, are open to manifestation and believe in it too. Um, you guys are gonna be like a power couple now. You know that. Like I firmly believe that.
Oh, I do
If
too.
it's a match
I
like
do
that,
too.
you both are open to it.
Change
Ooh,
their life and be
I do too.
inspired because they can do it. It is that
yeah,
simple. It's as simple as a decision. If anybody's hearing me right now, make your mind up and decide and stand
yes,
firm in that decision, and nothing will
yes,
stop you. And I mean that.
yeah,
Look, nothing stopped us.
yeah.
Even though I tried to stop it myself.
He did. It didn't work.
No, that's right. That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You two are gonna be like a power couple. I feel it. I feel it in my gut. And I'm Holly, I told you I felt it in my gut that you were gonna manifest him, didn't I?
You did. You've been
Yeah.
right every single time. Listen to Kim.
Yeah.
She's right every single time when she calls it. It's yeah.
Yeah. You two power couple. I'm telling you, it's in my gut. Okay. I'm not a psychic. I just feel it. Just saying.
No, I
I'll
know you.
pretend you're psychic.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
I
right
like
then.
it, so I'm going with it.
So I'm going to say thank you to both of you for doing this. Hal, thank you for being open to coming onto the channel and sharing your
Absolutely.
perspective. I really
No, thank
appreciate
you.
that.
Thank you.
This
I
doesn't
appreciate the
happen very often.
opportunity. No,
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate the opportunity, and I think that it's interesting because I have a third party perspective of the power of manifesting from a view that's disconnected from the people who are trying so desperately to practice it and maybe questioning if it works or not. I had a
Yes.
complete view or I had my own testimony of it does work,
Yes.
and there is a process and there is results at the end of that process. So yeah, thank you for allowing me to be a part of it.
Yeah. Did you think about me at all during those 10 months? Like, was that
If I did, none of it was good.
sick? So,
No, in all honesty, the reality is I was I was determined that I wanted no part of dating. I wanted no part of like I had enough of like chaos. I had chaos in my life. I wanted my life to like rebalance and renormalize. And it was odd. Well, I say odd, but I literally decided that I didn't want to date anyone, or I was just happy being alone. I just accepted this fate. Right. And I told
Oh,
Holly like it was
wow.
a very dark path,
Yeah.
but it was almost like a willingness to go down this like path of almost loneliness, but being happier in loneliness because I had just like with all the drama that we went through,
we did go
I
through.
had completely decided
Thanks to
that
me.
no, yep, that it was not even an option. So I wasn't even open to it. When we met for that lunch, it was honestly just a courtesy to show up, but
Yeah.
I
Bridge of
wasn't even open to
incidents.
it. Yeah, right. Absolutely. No,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Correct. So, I got a real quick third party perspective and lesson
Yeah.
in the real world power that exists
Yeah.
in manifesting.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I'm ending on that because that was the perfect ending. Again, thank you very much to both of you. I couldn't be more happier. Honestly, you guys deserve the best. Way to go, Holly. You did it. You did it.
You. I love you, Kim. I appreciate everything.
Thank
I
you,
love you
Kim.
and
So
I
much.
appreciate you. I appreciate you, Hale, for coming on and allowing me to ask some questions and to share the story. This is going to inspire a lot of people, honestly. So,
Bye.
Me too.
as I would normally say on this note, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.
See you.
Thanks
Bye,
again, you
guys.
guys.
Bye,
Bye-bye.